So the climax of the Championship 2020-21 season starts today, with doing predictions on a Thursday. I mean, this is unusual to say the least, but let's get on to predicting these games. What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. I'm so excited. This is the final part of the Championship season. We're on to match day 39. This is what the current Leicesters Hall of Fame looks like in the final set of games of the season. Of course, we've got some Premier League fixtures to predict in the second half of this video also. If you haven't seen the series, I'll quickly explain how it works. I put all these weekend's fixtures in the description down below. You can pause the video and predict as many of these games as you like. If you get a correct score, your comment will be included in my review video, which will be posted on a Sunday this time, and you'll get a point on the Leicesters Hall of Fame. If you guys like what you see, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It'd really make my day. We want to try and get to 500 subscribers as soon as we can, and please share my channel to as many people as you can. But with any further ado, let's start predicting these weekend's games. It starts with potentially a season-defining game for both these sides. It's Bournemouth going up against Middlesbrough. Honestly, if any of these sides have a defeat, it does destroy their chances of getting into the top 6. Bournemouth are in a much better position than Middlesbrough are in getting this top 6 place. It was a big blow for Middlesbrough that they lost their last game against Millwall. As with Bournemouth, of course, they've actually not played Championship football for quite a fair bit. Their last game was a fantastic 3-0 victory against Swansea. They had FA Cup action, which they did lose out to their South Coast rivals, Southampton. Now, going to this game, I think Stanislas is going to be injured for Bournemouth. For me, Middlesbrough need to win this game. If they do not win this game, then they can forget any sort of chance that they would have to getting into the top 6. They're 3 points behind Bournemouth and 2 places below them in 9th place. But for some reason, I think Bournemouth might just edge this one. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be very evenly contested. And we're going to go with my instinct. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Bournemouth. FIFA 21 is also predicting a Bournemouth win, except they're predicting 1-0 to Bournemouth. Now we've got Bristol City versus Stoke. Now, to be honest with you, I just do not see any of these sides winning because Bristol City at home, they've lost 6 home games in a row. Stoke, away from home, they are winless in 6 away games with 4 defeats in their last 6 away games. Bristol City won a reverse fixture last season, and I remember getting this prediction right as well. It was 2-0 Bristol City, and that was when Bristol City had a 100% start. Those were the days when Bristol City thought that they could potentially get up there in the Championship table. But now in the mid-table position, I don't think either of them have got a lot to play for now. So this could be a very dull game, and I'm fearing for worse on this game, honestly. I'm going to actually predict a 0-0 draw. I really hope I'm wrong with this game. Stoke have not scored in many away games recently. Bristol City have not scored in their last 3 home games, so I think it'll be 0-0. FIFA 21 is predicted a 1-0 away victory to Stoke. I can also see that happening. Next up, we've got Cardiff going up against Nottingham Forest. Now, both these sides have actually played each other twice already this season. I remember the opening game when Nottingham Forest lost 2-0 at home to Cardiff. It was one of the poorest games I've seen with Nottingham Forest under Sabri Namucci at the time. And I remember he took Joe Nolly off around halfway through the first half, which was not a good indication. And it just had a sign that he just completely lost all plans and ideas in trying to get Nottingham Forest to perform. Cardiff were very defensively solid in that game. They did lose in their last meeting though, when Nottingham Forest got a 1-0 victory at the City ground in the FA Cup 3rd round. So it shows how much Nottingham Forest have progressed. Although since then, that was when Cardiff were at their low point, and now they've got Mick McCarthy in, where now they are 8th place and are in contention of getting into those top 6 places. They've conceded way less goals now. I think with this game, I think you're going to see Nottingham Forest play with the ball a lot, although they do not create too many chances. I mean, they got their 1-1 draw with Brentford with their only shot on target. To go past this Cardiff side, it's going to be very difficult to break them down. We saw how resolute they were against a Swansea side who, despite having 23 shots, they didn't concede a single goal. It's going to be 1 goal within it for me. FIFA 21's predicting Nottingham Forest for 1-0, therefore I'll go with the reverse and predict Cardiff for 1-0, and we'll see who's right. Next up is Derby versus Luton. I feel like with a couple of these sides with their international break, they need to step up their form, and Derby is one of the first teams that come to mind that definitely need a good response after this international break. They've had a chance to regroup, to feel refreshed. They need to go at it in the final part of this season because I think they're still within the relegation battle. Luton have now cracked the 50-point mark, don't really have a lot to play for now, but they just seem to be ruining a load of teams' results right now. And this could be the case in terms of Derby as well. Derby most definitely need the points. Luton away from home have looked pretty good. They've not conceded many away goals. They don't score many away goals, but they do tend to win an away game. They won their last away game, which was against Preston, which damned Preston and got their manager leaving the club. I don't think that will happen with Derby, but I do think the same result will take place. I'm going to say a 1-0 away win to Luton Town. I back their squad a lot better right now. FIFA 21 is predicting a 0-0 draw. Honestly, I could easily see that as well. Let's look at Millwall going up against Rotherham. This one, I think, is a really tough game for me to predict because Millwall, they've been proven to be so inconsistent. One game, you see them go 2-0 up at half-time against Queensborough Rangers and then lose 3-2 with a dire second-half performance. And then you see them perform absolutely brilliantly at the Den against the Middlesbrough side, restricting their chances, and honestly looked actually relatively comfortable with that 1-0 win in the end. Against Rotherham in the reverse fixture, it was Wed who gave the ball away, and Jed Wallace basically ran the half of the pitch on his own and he scored a goal. I remember it well. It was a very costly mistake by Wed. But with Rotherham though, they've won 5 out of their last 7 away games, and because of this form, that is what's giving them their chances to survive. And I might actually back Rotherham in this game, you know. I think Rotherham have actually got the stronger record against Millwall in their last 6 meetings as well. And of course, they've got a lot to play for. Millwall don't really have a lot to play for, in my opinion. And I think that can play to Rotherham's advantage. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Rotherham. I've not backed Rotherham too often on this channel, but I'm going to back Rotherham for this game. FIFA 21 is also predicting a Rotherham win. So unfortunately for the next 3 games, unfortunately I cannot feature their content as the FIFA content got corrupted. But next game is Preston going up against Norwich. The Alex Neil derby, I can say that now because Alex Neil is now no longer the manager in both of these clubs. Norwich, of course, they managed to lose their winning streak, drawing 1-1 in their last game against Blackburn. I just think they were just a little bit too relaxed in this game, and I think their game management wasn't that great, and their defending from Sam Gallagher's goal was really, really poor. As with Preston, they're winless in their last 5 games. Their form has just been completely deteriorated from 2021, basically. Only 3 wins in 17 matches. It's not good enough for a side like Preston, especially with the investment that they got. It's going to be Frankie McAvoy who's now going to be taking up Preston's role until the end of the season. Is that going to boost results? I mean, this is basically going to be a tester, really. I mean, Preston do not have an easy game next game as well because they've got to play against Brentford next. With this game, I think Norwich will be quite comfortable in this game. I'm going to say a 2-0 away victory to Norwich. FIFA 21 is predicting a 1-0 away victory to Norwich. Next up, we've got Queen's Park Rangers going up against Coventry. Now, the reverse fixture of this game was actually a thrilling game to start off the season, really. It was a 3-2 victory to Coventry, and it was a game of 2 halves. I remember Queen's Park Rangers was so good in that first half. They had a 1-0 lead going into half-time. It wasn't really a great game to watch, but Coventry really attacked that second half. With this game, Coventry still got a bit to fight. They've got to try and fight for survival. I don't think they're safe yet. 2 wins in 12 games for Coventry is not encouraging form, especially in the tail end of the season. Queen's Park Rangers right now, like with Luton, they've cracked the 50-point mark for now. I don't think they've got much to play for, to be honest with you, but if they can keep picking up results, they can finish in a pretty high position, actually. I don't think they've finished in the top half of the table for over 3 to 4 seasons now, so definitely something to play for in that sense. I am going to say a 1-0 victory to Queen's Park Rangers. I was thinking 2-0 Queen's Park Rangers, but I'm going to change my mind to 1-0 last minute. FIFA 21 had predicted a 2-1 away victory to Coventry. And next up, we've got Watford going up against Sheff Wed, the second best team going up against the second worst team according to the table. Now, you wouldn't necessarily base that on performances. I mean, Watford right now, they've won 5 games in a row. They are the in-form team of the Championship. And it's poor on Sheff Wednesday's part that they have got to play them now, because they've started to pick up their form recently. They've had a draw and they've managed to beat their Yorkshire rivals Barnsley for what was a must-win game, and they've done it. If they get a good result against Watford, it puts them in a great position. Although just after Watford, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday have too many bad games left. So after Watford, I think just as long as they can ride the storm with that and they don't concede a cricket score, then I think if Sheffield Wednesday can continue with their good momentum and run of form, then maybe Sheffield Wednesday may have a chance to save themselves. With this game, I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut as it once was, because I think Sheffield Wednesday have improved. Xisco, Milnes and Watford have looked really, really good. And I think ultimately with the chances they've created down the wings, I think they'll prove too much for Sheffield Wednesday. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory to Watford. FIFA 21 had agreed with me as well. So now we've got the FIFA footage back, thank God. We've now got Wycombe going up against Blackburn. Wycombe would be dreading playing Blackburn again because in the reverse fixture, it was a 5-0 thrashing in the beginning part of the season where Darius Charles got a red card and Adam Armstrong had a hat-trick. Since then, I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut. I don't think Blackburn have been strong as they were in that beginning part of the season, and I think Wycombe have improved a bit since that beginning part of the season as well. So for me, I do think this game's going to be a little bit more competitive. And Wycombe have scored at least one goal in their last 5 away games. And one problem I had with Wycombe was their lack of goals. But they're starting to consistently score at home now, which I think is important. And I think against a Blackburn side that do concede quite a fair few goals, I do think Wycombe may have some chances in this game. But I think with the firepower that Blackburn have with Harvey Elliott and Adam Armstrong and just the plethora of options they have, I think Blackburn would pose too much for them. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Blackburn. FIFA 21 is going to agree with me. We then go to the 5:30 kickoff, Barnsley, Reading. 5th versus 6th. This is definitely the biggest game of this weekend. Both these sides right now are on 64 and 62 points respectively. If any of these sides lose in this game, it does put them in a very, very poor position. But more so with Reading, because Reading right now, they're only 3 points ahead of Bournemouth and they've played a game more. Reading, for me, need to win this game, especially if they want to reignite their chances of getting into the top 6. As with Barnsley, they had an incredible form. Of course, that form ended quite abruptly against Sheffield Wednesday. Is that going to be the start of their decline? Or are Barnsley going to be a sign of a really, really good team who can pick up their form? Because they've got a plethora of talented players. Helik, I thought, was absolutely brilliant for Poland when I did manage to see him against England. They've overachieved. And I think it's just down to what the manager has achieved. I think they've been an unbelievable outfit this season, Barnsley. With this game, this is so tough for me to predict. I can't edge them. I'm going to have to say a 1-1 draw. I honestly can't edge them. FIFA 21's predicting 1-0 Reading. Honestly, I can see that happening, and that'll be a huge result for Reading if that's the case. Next up, we've got Birmingham versus Swansea. This game, I won't lie to you, I am so nervous to predict this one because we've not seen too much of Lee Bowyer. We saw Birmingham with an unbelievable home performance against Reading with a 2-1 victory. A team in the top 6, likewise with Swansea. Of course, they had a poor defeat against Watford 3-0, but I think with Watford being the form team of the Championship, it was going to be difficult for Birmingham to collect anything out of this game. I hope for Birmingham fans' sake that they see an improved performance against the Swansea side, where they have lost back-to-back games and have been pretty poor in terms of their performances recently. There's concerns of injuries towards Andre Ayew and Conor Hourihane. Apparently Ayew picked up a knock when he was playing for the Ghana national team, so he may not start. And Hourihane, of course, was injured during the South Wales derby. He may not recover. Those are 2 big players that Swansea could be missing in this game. I promise you guys, this is not an April Fool's joke, but I'm actually might back Birmingham for this game. Why not? I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Birmingham. FIFA 21 has predicted 1-0 Swansea. That would have been my alternative prediction, to be fair. And lastly, to end this off, is Huddersfield versus Brentford. I am planning to do a watch-along in that game. And of course, the 3 o'clock games, I am going to be doing a watch-along and a live stream for that. So make sure you do check out my channel at those times. But with this game, it's interesting. It's 2 sides with different ambitions, of course. Huddersfield, I think they're safe from relegation. I think they're pretty much going to be safe. Maybe one more win can definitely confirm their survival. As with Brentford, they need to win this game. They just got to hope that Norwich and Watford drop their form. The reverse fixture was a very routine win for Brentford. I remember Mbeumo scoring an absolute screamer in that game. It was 3-0 if I remember right. But Huddersfield, since then, they have improved and then they went on a slump. But since then, they've managed to go 4 games unbeaten, picking up 2 clean sheets in those games. So Huddersfield have definitely not been conceding too many goals now, which is great for them. Brentford have not been performing too well. Of course, they threw away 4 points in their last 2 games with 2 draws with Derby and Nottingham Forest respectively. I'm going to say Brentford might edge here. I'm going to say 2-1 Brentford. I could even see 1-1 going with this game. FIFA 21 is going to agree with me and say 2-1 Brentford. But that's all my predictions for the Championship done. As always, make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below. If you get a correct score, your comment will be included and you'll be in the Lexus Hall of Fame. And to end off this video, I'm going to show you my Premier League predictions, which is right there. So make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below. Yeah, these are not my actual predictions. April Fools! Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it? These are my actual Premier League predictions. So make sure you comment your Championship and your Premier League predictions in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It would really make my day. And please share my channel to as many people as you can. All of that would really make my day. I'm so excited for the Championship coming back. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary for the end of this video. And as always, take care everyone.